So, folks, welcome back to Orange Hat. It's your pal here to bring you another Hollywood controversy and Hollywood tales and whatnot. This one happens to be about Pedro Pascal coming to the defense of Rachel Zegler, but not Gina Carano when Gina Carano needed help against defamation the most. So, yes, before we get into this, if you want to help my channel, want to support my channel, the best thing to do is like, comment, subscribe, and share. I am not in this for the money. I'm in this simply to help inform people. So with that out of the way, let's get into this. Pedro Pascal slammed for calling Rachel Zegler an icon amid her Snow White disaster. And yes, I know they put woke in there, but I'm not walking it back, but I'm not going to use it as often as everybody else does. Pedro Pascal came under fire on Sunday after publicly supporting or voicing his support of Rachel Zegler amid severe backlash, which led to the humiliating flop of Disney's Snow White. Turning 50 this Wednesday, I am not calling him that. He Insta-storied a picture of Rachel Zegler and tagged her and put #icon. Mark Webb's PC live action reimagining, I am not going to say remake, because a remake is a shot for shot remake, retelling everything the way it was. This is not a remake. Film Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs has earned $143.1 million at the global box office since opening March 21st, reportedly costing at least $350 to make and market. I think you will find those numbers to be extremely skewed. Yeah. Snow White currently has a dismal 40%. I think this was this bit here, the 40% or the 41%. I believe that is actually a what's the word? Typo. Sorry. Had a brain fart. Critic approval rating out of 233 reviews, but managed a decent 74% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, while it plummeted to 1.6 out of 10 on IMDb. The problem is, folks, that's a verified audience, meaning those who bought tickets to either Regal, AMC, or Fandango themselves. That's it. All audience, and 1,000 plus, where all audience over 10,000 ratings pan it at 19%. I went over this in the last video that I did today, putting up in the card. You do not get to lie on my channel. I will not perpetuate lies on my channel. Over on X, users like Diamond Needle 18 pointed out that Pedro and Rachel's paychecks have the same logo on them, Disney. They both work for Disney. They receive money from Disney. X-user Duncan Portal tweeted. Let's see here. The platform they have is thanks to Disney. What exactly do they mean by icon? Working for the company who practices they claim to despise, or whose practices they claim to despise. I think I've lost the plot. Ex-user Armored Roar 6 scoffed. Icon? No. How about fired? And how about blacklisted? How about failure, moron, imbecile? Call her what she is, not what your deluded Hollywood echo chamber wishes she was. Now, I'm only going over what they are saying, folks. I am not saying I agree with what they are saying. Ex-user R2CB agreed. Why do these actors keep sabotaging their next projects? Several people dragged Pascal for not supporting his Mandalorian co-star Gina Carano, who was fired off of their Disney Plus show in 2021 for comparing Republicans to Jews in the Holocaust. That is not true. This is false reporting by the Daily Mail, folks. What she did was, all she did was point out that in the 1930s, Hitler and the Nazi Party started pitting neighbor versus neighbor. She never mentioned a political party. She never said conservatives, Republicans, or Democrats, or any of that in that post. All she did was point out a piece of history. So what they are putting in here is a lie. As I said, I will not perpetuate a lie here. Denying the results of the 2020 presidential election and being an anti-masker. Yet this person, whoever the fuck you are, Cassie Carpenter, you are a fucking liar. All she did was say, hey, this sounds a little bit interesting, and maybe we should look at this stuff and ask questions. It is not wrong to ask questions. But yeah, this person is completely just BS. Remember when he threw Gina Carano under the bus? Ex-user The MAGA Hulk tweeted. Ex-user Joker yada yada. Where was his support for Gina Carano? Did Pedro Pascal ever publicly support Gina Carano after Disney fired her? Ex-user, these people tweeted, because that would actually be impressive. The 42-year-old MMA champ who played Marshall on Navarro, Cara Dune, in the first 2 seasons, subsequently sued Disney, Lucasfilm, and Huckleberry Industries for wrongful dismissal and sex discrimination. And the trial is set to begin on September 25th of this year. By contrast, the 3-time Emmy nominee has never worked with Rachel, but he evidently loved her Golden Globe performance as Maria in Steven Spielberg's 2021 remake of West Side Story. Back in 2022, Zegler wished Pedro a happy 47th birthday, calling him love personified. Pascal, who deactivated his Twitter account in 2022 after Elon Musk bought the platform, replied, 4 witnesses that saw me burst into tears when your Maria appeared on screen. The New Jersey native responded and excited, and screech. Rachel's casting as the Disney princess was criticized for being brown, and yes, this person is clearly there's no more BS, or there's no more need to go over this. Basically, I always leave the source material of my videos in the description of the video, folks. You can find the full report there. But this person is basically perpetuating lies, and I will no longer continue the coverage. However, I have already covered the meat of it, which was Pedro Pascal getting slammed for it. Thing is, yeah, it's true. He didn't go to Gina Carano's defense. He called her up personally and was like, look, I'm sorry this has happened to you, yada yada. But when it mattered, he didn't do it. But he will come and say that Rachel Zegler is an icon. She's an icon of destroying a film and the integrity of the company that made it. Now, folks, Disney is also to blame for the failure of Snow White, but Rachel Zegler is the face of that failure. She is the titular character. She made her disdain for the original very clear. She did all of that. And she bashed the original. She bashed her co-star. She endangered the life of another co-star. I mean, all of this is very well documented. And I have covered much of it. So, yeah, I do believe that Pedro Pascal, maybe you do need to be a little bit more self-aware. I mean, you are literally defending the indefensible. Just why? Because she played in a movie of a Disney princess? You're defending her? Why? Because she's politically aligned with you? I don't get it. But anyway, folks, that's going to be the video. You all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What do you think of all this? Do you think that Pedro Pascal deserves the backlash? Or do you think the people are just being spiteful people? Or do you think it's actually deserved? Let me know all your thoughts, folks. This has been Orange Chat. Y'all have a wonderful day. Always remember, stay humble. Peace.